Don't hit pause. All right, you ready, Liam? Good day, friends. It's Lance and Jon Stevens, and we're out at Jon, your place here.
Yep.
Where are we at?
We're at Rock Creek.
Rock Creek, East Central Minnesota.
East Central Minnesota.
Yeah. So yeah, we're out here in a clover, candy ryegrass field, and so I guess part of my passion is sharing other people's journeys into soil. So that includes cows. But I guess tell us a little bit about your farm and then specifically this field.
So I'm fifth generation, kind of starting from scratch, I say. The folks were lucky enough to keep the farm in the 80s, but there was a lot of, you know how the 80s were.
Inflation.
A lot of crooked bankers kind of wiped, and we were devastated. The whole area was just devastated. So I'm fifth generation, starting from scratch, and the folks are still here to help us along with moral support, you know.
I met him.
And Dad still loves, he don't say it, but he'll come out and check on the cows after we're gone, you know. He's a fantastic herdsman. I will not be the herdsman that he was. I can't do some of the things.
Because he was a dairyman.
Yep.
Did you dairy here or not?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so our cows went in 03, and then we just became corn and bean farm. And I was going to be the next big corn and bean guy in the area. You know, we were doing right in front of us here on this field, you know, when BioForge and all them products on in-furrow really started to take off. I was doing 20, 30 side-by-side trials. I'd have hybrid test plots from here to the road, a half mile or a quarter mile behind us, and I'm 30, 40 hybrid. It's just miserable and a lot of work. And now.
Oh, you've got cows.
That's how we got cows.
These are the wife's cows. We established that. And John's.
When them dairy cows left, it was a sad. You cried and you were upset. You felt like a failure. But then, and then after a few years of the cows being gone, you're like, I will never see one of them stupid creatures again.
The black and white ones.
Any of the bovine.
Holsteins.
Any bovine. I will never look at one of them stupid things again.
And now look at I'm giving one a pen.
And now we have
number 6. Right?
An absolutely stunningly quality herd here. We work so hard. We put so much effort into it. If all you wanted was, if we always joke, we got, majority of the farm is still corn and beans, but in the corn and beans, we're trying to do the reduced tillage, better nutrient management. We got the St. Croix River right here. East Central Minnesota is under the microscope for phosphorus in the water. Granted, 70% of the land is woodland and swamps, so no phosphorus ever comes from that. It's clearly the farmers. And so
that's
I always,
another topic for a different day.
Yep, and I always tell the water agency people, like, the river's right there, and so I really don't care about that river. I care about my dollars leaving the field. And here we have these girls, and for the time I can run, the 300 or 400 acres of row crops that's 10 miles away across the interstate is easier than running 100 some acres of hay and then 100 acres of pasture with, where there are 41 animals out here all together. The time they take, but yeah.
That's part of enjoyment here. Look at it. I can scratch her while we're on a video.
It is. And that's part of our system.
Yeah.
So the goal is to kind of figure out how to do a 5-year rotation. Nobody, when I was out meeting farmers out in central Minnesota, they'd be like, oh yeah, where are you from? And I'd always say, well, Hinckley, because of the casino. Everybody knows where the Hinckley Casino is.
Yep.
And they'd, oh yeah, we know where it's at. And I'd always say, well, I think, when you're in Renville County or Candy, Ohio County, and you tell somebody, yeah, I think you guys refer to it as God's country up there. Everyone laughs like that. Like,
sorry,
nobody has. They're all like, I've never heard anybody refer to that as God's country, other than you get a few people that understand the cabin ability up here, and they're like, that is absolutely God, not farm country. Nope, couldn't pay me to move up there to farm, but boy, our cabin over on such and such lake, beautiful, most beautiful.
It's our second. It's a heaven. It's a heaven.
It really is. We got a stunningly gorgeous area here.
It's even got a little roll to it. We talked about it's not flat.
It's not flat, but boy, you don't have to go very far north, like the Kettle River type bluff area, and just south of us, the St. Croix River. You get them big granite or whatever rock faces. I mean, they are just some gorgeous area.
Yep.
And but yeah, the cows are part of our rotation. They're another crop.
Yeah. So talk to us about this. I mean, you kind of gave us the rundown of what but what was this field for the last 20 plus years? It was corn, beans mostly.
Yep.
Okay.
Full tillage, mow-bore plow, and the disc gripper most of my life. And then when we started a no-till out of necessity. It wasn't like, hey, we should really care about the soil. It was like, I can't get this field planted because this soil's goofy. Like, it's like the beach when the tide comes in on that sand. If you smack that sand, it's hard. But if you stir that sand up, and so in 2014, we had done some no-till trials. Just, I don't know why, but we had tried it. And you're like, well, there was absolutely zero difference. And for yield.
Sure.
And so then 2014 comes along, worst spring we ever had in many years. And I'm out here with the 4-wheel drive tractor pulling the digger, and the tractor's driving across the soil. And then when I turn around, you know, when you run at an angle, you drive over where you just scratched up, the digger just gone. Yeah. Them skinny tires, you know, it's gone. And and then you got rain in a couple days. And so then you're digging what you already dug to get it warm and dry. And so I told Dad, I said, well, this is dumb. I'm getting nowhere. You come home from work, I carried concrete and shovel for a living, and come home and like get nothing done. And so I said, well, I can drive across that pudding skin. So in 2014, we no-tilled everything in. And in the fall, I was worried all year. The neighbors and everybody was just, it wasn't.
Everybody was going to talk about you too.
Well,
that's probably normal, maybe.
Everybody was just kind of like, man, this is a tough year. And we ended up with a little bit of an early frost, but we pulled it out.
Sure. Black layered it, and you got it.
Black layer,
close.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's not, no. Even on a great year, we don't always make it the black layer.
We are in the tundra, or
Correct.
whatever you call it up
Correct.
here.
We, people, you got Lake Superior not too far, and Lake Mille Lacs not too far. And we do have, I think, some effect of that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, row crop ends 15 miles north of us. Nobody's growing major row crops 15 miles north of us.
Unless it's for a food plot or something. Maybe.
Food plot, deer plot, cattle for silage.
Sure.
Corn and beans, there's some cash crop, but
Very
at 48 out of Hinckley, going north every linear foot, you are reducing row crop acres.
Very true.
There's no soil, no climate. And now I forgot where we were, but we no-tilled into it.
No-tilled 14.
Yep, no-tilled 14 turned out to be our best soybean year ever. Because we have such light soil, it complemented the horrible year. And so then 15, 16, we're like, hey, there's something to this. And so a neighbor was doing strip till, and so I went down and looked at their setup. And so I came home and welded up a row crop cultivator to make a strip till thing. And 15, 16 introduced us to strip till, and we started playing with cover crops. And 15, 16, 17, 18 were all fantastic years. And then we kind of spiraled down from there because we really then started to focus on the cover crop side. We were trying to bring the cattle back, establish pastures, putting in fence, putting in water line, you know. Infrastructure. And up here, our row crops, I'll hand it to any guy in my area that's growing corn and beans, even if they're full till, full corporate, they're doing a heck of a job to be able to pull it off like we're doing.
Given the conditions.
The conditions we're in and the yields that we're able to actually start to hit on some of these fields, it's amazing. Cash flow, well, that's a different topic. But, and so that's, when you have zero room for error, to now start to take a majority of your focus on row crop time to bring in the cattle and all this other stuff. And like that's how this field got here. We put barley out here, and that wasn't a management thing. I mean, we wanted barley to be out here so we could add to the pasture. So we got pasture, and we can manage the herd and heal the land. And the cup, like a day or two after we planted the barley, it rained like a cow on a flat rock. I mean, it just boom, couple inches in an hour. And even one of my landlords, he's like, yeah, that ain't gonna be good. Been there. Oh yeah, 1974, we put in rye up there, and it did the same thing, you know. And sure enough, he calls and your barley don't look very good down there. I'm like, I'm sorry. What do I do, you know? And so all we did was thank God that the clover came. I can grow legumes here. I mean, Dad, and I remember in the 80s and 90s, Dad being in farm magazines for growing legumes, alfalfa up here.
But you also have some orchard grass, annual ryegrass.
Yep. So it's kind of a generic pasture grass mix. And then I want the legumes.
Sure.
They go on
Deep
our
root.
soil, deep root, get into that clay, and they can live. I mean, we're in a pretty hard drought. And you look at the green we're in. You spin behind you, Liam. I mean, it's green. We are green. And if I told you that we've had 2 inches since May 1st, and only one of them inches came at one time, everything else came at a 10th, evaporate. Something's working here. And so the goal here in a couple years, this ain't here for very long.
I want about 5 years.
I want to get this out in 3 to 4 years.
You get some nitrogen credit for the clover.
Absolutely.
And the biology credit.
The biology.
We don't even talk about that.
No.
That'd be a future video.
That's biology. I can buy bugs in a jug cheaper than I can grow it. Why would I grow it?
See, he's trying to fight on video.
That is true. The potential that we're standing on. I've had some cattle people be like, man, look at the waste, and I'm like,
ain't no waste.
Waste? There's not one speck of waste here. Look at all there's
food, insulation.
That herd below the ground is more than the herd above the ground.
That's right.
Trademark Jon Stevens. Copyright.
On June the 29th or whatever.
It's on video.
All right, so I'm going to get us back to the script. See, we wrote a script so we would try to stay on.
Sorry.
No, and there's no apologies needed or asked for.
It's the Catholic in me. I was a good Catholic. I feel guilty already.
That's good. So I want to just point out a couple things. We have lots of tools, right? Whether it's strip till, fertilizer, herbicide, live plants, live roots, diversity of structure. We also have this tool. We also have the bovine number 6 that, I don't know if she's the pet, but she came up and wanted to give him a hug.
They're all a pet. They're all a pet.
But anyway, they're all tools, and the more we look at them as tools to bring in the system, the better off we are. Because we then can still try to have those yields, but we're diversified. You can sell freezer beef. We talked about that. You can sell small grain. You could maybe sell hay, although I don't know if I'd go with that. But
carbon can't leave.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, you're getting back to just besides having corn and beans. Right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's that we don't think about that or talk about it. We also talk about the wildlife, right? There's swallows everywhere. You told me you guys built swallow houses for a reason. Right? And I kind of gave him grief about following Greg Judy or whatever, but it's true. And I also want to just make everybody aware that one thing I appreciate about Jon is you say it how it is, and you're also not afraid to try pretty much anything. I mean, maybe it's different from year to year, but that's how you're learning. And then look at all the people that subscribe to your channel. And they're like, what is this crazy guy from Rock Creek doing? But how can I maybe take a little bit and try it on my farm in Wisconsin or in Iowa or Dakota? You know what I mean? Like,
that's the good point. It's not a cover crops or reduced tillage or nutrient management don't work in my area, because I learned most of this stuff I learned from guys in Missouri that in the spring we're planting green. Our spring we're planting green, but you just tweak it to your area. The principles of it,
soil health,
how to make it work for your area. I like that. I like that. We need to open our minds, and I look at this, from from the tree line behind us to the farm, you know, you got this 180 whatever acres here, and Grandpa somehow made a living off of this land. He had some off-farm income. This is all trees, you know.
Sure.
5-6 generations ago, if you wanted a field, you cleared it.
Yeah.
And so we got axes and all the saws, and Grandpa, you know, it's all rough cut elm in the barn and
Sure.
stuff like that. And but they made a living off of this land, and now we run almost 750 acres, and you're like, I am not making a living off of this land yet. I need to still keep wrenching and getting
Working
debt,
for Ziegler.
you know, getting debt paid down. And that's the hard part for us, because in our personal situation, if it wasn't for trying to rebuild the farm and buy, you know, we wanted to farm, we had to buy the soil. We wanted to farm, we had to rent it, you know, kind of deal. If I wanted a tractor, I had to buy it.
Sure.
If it wasn't for that,
Sure.
you know, if I was generational, this conversation might not be here, because I'd probably still be black dirt, because we'd be making money even as to buying our stuff. But no, I got nephews, and now a great nephew, and so
He's giving me the look. Did you see him?
Uh-oh. It done recording?
No.
Oh.
He's getting sore, which is okay.
Oh,
No, stay here.
oh.
We're gonna wrap up, right?
Yeah.
Because we wanna. But this has been really good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do.
So that was the intro. So in a
Yeah,
couple
no,
months,
that's not the interest. So, but I do want to say.
No,
a
show them
couple
what it
things.
says. Show them what it says.
Oh yeah, this is my education company, consulting company. But how I want to wrap up though is, you know, I talked about the sharing. So
Yeah.
John does a great job sharing. That's how you can find out more what's going on here. And your channel is Jon Stevens,
Maple Grove Farms.
Maple Grove Farms. And you know, a shameless plug. You are having a field day. You've had what, 3 now or 4? This is your 4th.
This will be 6.
6. Okay.
Yeah. 18
So-
was the first year.
Okay, so later August.
Yep.
And you know, a bunch of people are going to be here. It's going to be an opportunity to learn and network, and I think that's such a huge part of this journey too. Because as you learn, as you fall forward, we learn with you, right? And then you learn with the guy, you know, 20 miles away or 200 that's learning as well.
Yeah. Oh, we put on a hell of a
Yeah.
Oh.
When is that show going to
August 25th. August
be
25th.
here or be somewhere else and miss out?
Be here at B Square. It yeah, no, we it's been a great show from day one, and the farmers love it and they keep coming back, and we got open forums for cattle and row crop guys to talk, and entomologists, and carb, oh boy,
We got a good lineup.
you got a good lineup, and a great keynote speaker, and shameless plug,
Oh,
if we're gonna
jeepers.
throw them out there, I got Lance coming this year, and there's our big draw.
I don't know about that.
No, it's always a good time. It's fast.
Yeah.
It's fast paced. No lectures. You know. Oh man.
It'll be good.
It's
So if you
good.
want more information, there's going to be a few videos that, you know, preface this and kind of
Yeah.
preview it in the weeks to come. Are we about done, Liam? You're getting sore hands?
Yeah.
So my son, shameless plug, Liam, is on a dad date with Dad, and we're going to Duluth. We're hanging out with John and Mark from Soil Health Coalition. There he is. Look at the shirt. Can we just take a second? Look at his shirt. Yeah, there we go. And don't treat your soil like dirt. Get over here, Liam. Look at this. Don't, because this is what John's doing, this is what I'm doing, and this is what Mark is also promoting and advocating for. So with that, we better wrap. I'm going to give you a Farmer John handshake in the sunshine from beautiful Rock Creek, and we'll catch you on the next video, friends.
Thank you.